Have you ever felt invisible in a room full of people? Ignored while others take credit for your ideas? Overlooked? Dismissed? Like your presence barely matters? It's not because you lack talent. It's not because you're weak. It's because you don't yet understand the hidden game. Power doesn't come to the naive. Influence isn't handed to the innocent. The world rewards those who can read minds and bend them. Machiavelli once said, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." Think about that. Broken promises, subtle lies, silent manipulations. They're tools. Tools the powerful use while the rest of us play by rules we barely understand. This isn't about being cruel. It's about survival. About making sure no one can dismiss, ignore, or manipulate you again. Today, you're going to learn techniques that turn the tables. Methods so subtle, so effective, people won't even realize they're being influenced. By the end of this video, you won't just walk into a room, you'll command it. Are you ready to see the hidden strings that control the world? Imagine knowing exactly what someone wants before they even realize it themselves. Knowing how to plant ideas, provoke reactions, and guide decisions, all without saying a word. This isn't some gimmick or cheap trick. It's psychology. It's strategy. It's a hidden playbook that the most powerful people have been using for centuries. By the end of this video, you'll discover how to make people think your ideas were theirs, how to control conversations without ever raising your voice, how to spot manipulation before it hits you and turn it back on them. These aren't theories. These are real, battle-tested methods used by the cunning, the ruthless, the unstoppable. And there's one secret that ties them all together, one dark principle that, if mastered, will make you untouchable in any situation. But here's the catch: most people will never understand it. They'll keep struggling, hoping for respect they'll never get. You're about to step into a world they'll never see coming. Are you ready to finally take control? Because once you see this, there's no turning back. Let's be honest. Life isn't fair. The world doesn't hand out respect. It doesn't reward effort. It rewards perception, influence, control. Have you noticed how some people always get what they want? Even when they're less talented, less skilled, less deserving. They slip past obstacles. They bend situations. They manipulate outcomes without anyone realizing it. And meanwhile, you struggle, you fight, you grind, and the world barely notices. It's painful, frustrating, infuriating. But here's the truth. You're not weak. You're simply unarmed in a war most people don't even see. Most people play life like it's a straight line. Good behavior gets rewarded. Honesty is king. Hard work guarantees results. It doesn't. Not in the real world. The real power lies in understanding hidden motives, in seeing desires people themselves cannot articulate, in nudging, guiding, and influencing, subtly, silently, ruthlessly. Every conversation you have, every interaction you experience, is a battlefield. Some fight consciously, some unconsciously. Most lose without even knowing they're in combat. And here's the cruelest part. The people who manipulate you, they don't even feel guilty. They've mastered the game while you're still trying to figure out the rules. Machiavelli knew this. He said, "It is double pleasure to deceive the deceiver." Those who understand manipulation always stay 2 steps ahead. Those who don't get played every single time. So if you've ever felt overlooked, underestimated, or powerless, it's not your fault, but it is your problem. And it's a problem you can fix. Because today, you're about to learn the techniques that turn weakness into unstoppable influence. The first rule of manipulation: control how people perceive you. Not what you say, not what you do, how they see you. Perception is reality. Always. You can be brilliant, hardworking, and loyal, but if others perceive you as weak, indecisive, or unimportant, you're powerless. Think about it. Who gets listened to in meetings? The confident one, the calm one, the one who knows how to project authority. Not necessarily the smartest. Not necessarily the most deserving. Here's how to master perception. Calmness is power. Even in chaos, remain composed. People mistake calm for control. Control breeds influence. Speak deliberately. Short, precise sentences command attention. Avoid rambling. Every word should feel like a statement, not a question. Mirror subtly. Match the energy, tone, or posture of the person you want to influence. Creates comfort, and comfort creates trust. Project scarcity. Don't be available 24/7. If people sense you are selective, they'll value your attention more. Machiavelli wrote, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." Timing and perception are inseparable. The person who masters both controls outcomes effortlessly. Here's a practical example. Imagine you walk into a room full of strangers. Instead of trying to impress, you stand quietly, observe, and speak only when necessary. Every word lands heavier. Every glance counts. By the time anyone notices you, you've already become the center of influence. Silence is more powerful than words. Yet most people fear it. They rush to speak to fill the void. That's where they lose control. Think about it. How many times have you spilled your thoughts, only to regret them later? How often has speaking first weakened your position? The truly powerful know. Silence speaks louder than arguments, creates tension. It makes people reveal themselves. It gives you the upper hand without lifting a finger. Here's how to wield silence like a weapon. Listen more than you speak. Every word someone utters is a clue. Clues about motives, desires, and weaknesses. Pause before responding. A well-timed pause signals confidence. It forces others to rethink their words. People subconsciously feel your authority when you don't rush. Let others expose themselves. Ask open-ended questions and stay quiet. Watch as they fill the silence with truths they wouldn't normally share. Silence as intimidation. A calm, unreadable expression in a tense moment unsettles others. Conveys that you are unshakable, unmovable, untouchable. Machiavelli said, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." Silence is the tool that cultivates subtle fear. Not rage or hatred, just quiet, respectful unease. Practical example. In negotiations, resist the urge to immediately answer. Let the other party talk themselves into concessions. The more they speak, the more they reveal, and the more power you gain. Most people try to influence others with facts, reason, or logic. It rarely works. Humans aren't robots. We're emotional creatures, and emotions drive decisions, more than logic ever will. The key to true influence? Master emotional manipulation. Not in a cruel, obvious way. Subtle. Invisible. Strategic. Step 1. Understand triggers. What makes someone proud, insecure, or anxious? Once you know their triggers, you can guide their choices effortlessly. Step 2. Mirror emotions. If someone is anxious, mirror calm confidence. If they're excited, match it, but slightly more controlled. Creates trust, admiration, and influence. Step 3. Plant emotional seeds. Praise strategically. Critique subtly. Make them feel seen but also aware of their need for you. People are more malleable when they desire approval or fear disapproval. Machiavelli observed, "Men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear. Use both carefully. Fear doesn't mean terror. It means anticipation. Love doesn't mean affection. It means respect and desire." Example, imagine negotiating a raise. Instead of just listing achievements, acknowledge your boss's challenges. Then frame your contribution as solving their problems. You evoke appreciation, emotional pull, and strategic necessity, subtle pressure. Here's the subtle truth. Emotional manipulation is not evil. It's awareness. It's the difference between being a pawn and being a player. The most subtle form of power? Making people need you, not through threats, not through intimidation, through strategic dependency. Think about it. Who controls the most influence? Not the strongest, not the smartest. Those people who others can't live or succeed without. Here's how to create dependency without being obvious. Be indispensable. Offer solutions no one else provides. Solve problems quietly. Become the person people turn to instinctively. Control access. Don't be available for every request. Scarcity increases value. When people realize your help is not guaranteed, they'll appreciate and respect you more. Teach selectively. Give knowledge, but not all at once. Make people realize they rely on your insight to progress. Provide emotional anchors. Offer guidance, validation, or reassurance. People unconsciously gravitate towards sources of stability, and stability equals influence. Machiavelli said, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." This isn't about betrayal, it's about strategic positioning. By being reliable yet selective, you ensure others rely on you without resentment. Practical example. In a team, quietly solve a recurring problem no one else can handle. Let people notice, but don't flaunt it. Soon, colleagues start deferring decisions to you. Your influence grows while others remain unaware. The power of dependency is quiet, but unshakable. People who rely on you cannot ignore you. They cannot dismiss you. And their success, in part, now depends on your presence. Humans are wired to follow. We look to others for cues. We obey authority. And the clever use this instinct to manipulate and influence effortlessly. Social proof is powerful. When people see others approving or following someone, they assume it's the right choice. Authority amplifies that effect. Combine both, and influence becomes almost automatic. Here's how to use it strategically. Align with respected figures. Show connections subtly. Mention partnerships or endorsements only when necessary. People transfer respect and trust from authority figures to you. Highlight support quietly. Let others see that influential people or peers value your ideas. They'll want to align themselves with you too. Create trends or norms. Small, consistent actions can appear as standard behavior. Once others follow, the momentum reinforces your influence. Use testimonials and examples. Stories of results, success, or admiration create belief. People trust evidence that aligns with social patterns. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." Social proof and authority balance this perfectly. You can be respected, influential, and strategically feared without overt aggression. Example, in a meeting, reference a respected colleague's opinion that supports your plan. Or casually mention a team member's approval of your methods. Others will unconsciously adopt your perspective, thinking it's the logical, accepted choice. The key is subtlety. Too obvious, and it feels manipulative. Just enough, and people willingly move in your direction. Information is power. Those who control the flow of knowledge control decisions. Control perception, and you control reality. Most people give away information freely. They reveal plans, weaknesses, and intentions without thinking. The result? They are predictable, easily influenced, easily manipulated. Here's how to take control strategically. Be selective with what you share. Every word, every detail, every hint has weight. Reveal only what serves your goal. Frame the narrative. Present information in a way that guides perception. People don't just react to facts. They react to the story surrounding them. Create ambiguity intentionally. A little uncertainty makes others seek your guidance. It forces them to rely on you for clarity. Monitor what others reveal. The more you listen, the more you learn. Information about motives, desires, and vulnerabilities is a map to influence. Machiavelli said, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." Acting decisively while others hesitate means you set the rules. When you control information, you dictate the game. Example, in negotiations, don't reveal your maximum limits immediately. Let others underestimate or misjudge you. The more they speculate, the more they reveal their own positions. You gain power without confrontation. Remember, reality is subjective. If you can shape what people know, what they see, and what they believe, you don't just influence the outcome, you define it. Everything you've learned so far builds to this moment. Perception, silence, emotions, dependency, social proof, information control. Master these, and you are nearly untouchable. But there's one final truth. All power is relational. It exists only when others recognize it, consciously or not. Without others' acknowledgement, even the smartest strategies fail. Here's how to become unstoppable. Integrate the lessons seamlessly. Use perception, silence, and emotional manipulation in concert. Never show the strings, you're guiding from behind the curtain. Observe relentlessly. The world constantly signals opportunities and weaknesses. Spot patterns. Detect vulnerabilities. Act at the exact moment. Exploit subtle influence loops. Guide decisions before people even know they're deciding. Plant ideas, reinforce them through social proof, then let them believe it was their choice. Stay unpredictable. If you are always consistent, others can plan around you. A calculated mix of reliability and surprise keeps you ahead. Maintain moral ambiguity. You don't have to be cruel or ruthless overtly. You need only to act strategically, sometimes bending ethics, sometimes following them, always ensuring advantage. Machiavelli wrote, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. Command isn't about shouting or dominating. Command is about influence, control, and presence. It's invisible. It's strategic. It's unstoppable." Practical example. In a high-stakes situation, work, social circles, negotiations, observe. Decide what others want, what they fear. Move silently. Influence emotionally. Control information. By the time anyone realizes it, you are already in command. This is mastery. Not of brute force, not of coercion, but of the human mind. The people who cannot see it never know they've been outmaneuvered. And that is true power.